Hey everyone, welcome to a solo episode of Wine with Weeda. Today's quite a witty episode. It's something different to my usual solo episodes, but I had a situation today in the car with my daughters that made me think, gosh, this would be a great solo episode that could help so many people. I was driving to a restaurant with my daughters and I had to call my auntie Lena. And I'm sure all of you have been in this situation where we ask the navigator call a specific person and it doesn't call that person, or it calls someone completely different. And in my case, it did. I kept asking the navigator, call Lena. Who did it decide to call? Call Bella. It called Bella. It's like, no, 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 I don't want Bella. I want Lena. Try it again. Call Lena. Bella was dialed again the second time. And at that point, I changed the way I was asking the navigator to call Lena. I changed the tone of my voice. I was quite stern with the L sound. Call Lena. Again, Bella was called. And I'm about to crack it at this moment, about to give the phone to my daughter and say, you just call Lena herself. So I decided to adapt my accent. I thought, you know what, maybe it only syncs to American accents, not Australian accents. So I sounded like an American. Call Lena. Don't know who it called. At this point, I was at the restaurant. I was close to getting to Lena. So I let it go. But then it just got to the point. It's like, you know what? How about I just spell the name? That would make life a lot easier. So I said, call Lina. And what did it do? It called Lena. But as I was reflecting on that moment, I thought, gosh, how many attempts did I have to do or carry out? And how many changes did I have to implement so a device can understand me to complete a simple task? And then it made me think, we do this every day with technology. But how often do we do this with our children or even individuals with communication difficulties? Probably not as much. And then I started to think about my own self when I'm talking to ChatGPT. And yes, I'm going to say it here. I love ChatGPT. It's my best friend. She guides me with cooking. She guides me with my business ideas. She guides me with um, dress codes, or she guides me with everything. And I'm sure you do too. You can confess that, guys. I'm not here to judge. I'm not here to judge at all. But how many times have you adapted so ChatGPT can interact with you in your conversation online on the app? So with ChatGPT, I use more words. I'm more specific. I give context. I sometimes repeat myself because poor ChatGPT sometimes experiences a bit of word finding difficulties and dementia. It forgets sometimes. There was actually one time I said, "Oh, on Wine with Weta," ChatGPT said, "Who's Weta?" I'm like, "Mate, I've been talking about Weta for so long. Now you don't know?" So I had to further explain who Weta was. And to a device, I was applying strategies so this application, this AI, can understand better. They're my own daughters. When they use Amazon Alexa, they then talk slower to Alexa so the device can process it easier. They are more specific with their language so the Alexa can give them the right information. And they sometimes repeat it so Alexa can understand it more. And if it's quite interesting because it's like we're all speech pathologists doing all of these strategies or implementing these strategies for AI or technology to participate back to us or complete the task. But how often are you doing that with our young kids? How often are we repeating directions to our children? How often are we slowing down the direction? How often are you changing the vocabulary so your child can understand it more? And how often are you using pauses or even being patient for the child to complete the task or even to participate in the conversation? So, next time when you are participating with your AI or interacting in the car, trying to get someone to call someone, think, what are you doing in that moment? What strategies are you applying? What techniques have you used that have made the interaction easier, more fluid, and even more successful? What did you do differently? Would you try that again? And think, when you're with your child or with an individual with communication difficulties, what strategies have you applied differently so that person can participate better in the conversation, or they can understand the dynamic in a different way? And most importantly, what have you done differently to help the person feel included, seen, and valued? Because their needs are equally just as important as yours. Yes, they might not be quick and fast like AI and technology. Yes, they might be a bit impatient or might make you a little bit frustrated. But trust me, the minute you make the strategies or the minute you implement the strategies, the better the outcome will be. Similarly to AI and my car situation. The minute I found the best strategy for my car to find the person's name in my phone book, it was a successful outcome. So try that with your kids. See what you could do differently and what strategies you can apply to help them understand you better and to participate better. Now, I have a quote that I found today, and I thought this was so beautifully aligned with my ChatGPT solo episode. It is: we think communication is about saying the right thing the first time, but actually, it's about adjusting until the person is understood or it's understood. Let me say that again. We think communication is about saying the right thing at the first time, but it's actually about adjusting until we're understood. So powerful. We do that all the time with technology. Now let's do the same with our young kids and individuals with communication disorders. I hope you found this episode incredibly useful. I love doing it today. I thought it was quite different and interesting. If you loved it, please leave a review or even DM me on Instagram. I would love that feedback. But another episode of Wine with Weeda will be brought to your ears really soon. Take care, everyone. Thank you for tuning into another episode of Wine with Weeda. I hope you found some new inspiration, learnt something new, or gained a fresh perspective. If you enjoyed this episode, I'd be so grateful if you please leave a 5-star review, as it really helps the show get in the ears of new listeners, plus it takes 5 seconds. If you're keen for more strategies and insights, then head over to Instagram and follow RS Speech Pathology.